Welcome to the new episode of the Marketing Meeting. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Sven Mucho, and we'll be talking about TikTok ads. Sven is the founder of Mucho Marketing. He helps e-commerce businesses scale through Facebook, TikTok, and Google Ads. Sven, welcome to the show.
Pleasure having you.
It's nice to have another connection through LinkedIn. I really enjoy, learning from your posts because you especially talk a lot about TikTok nowadays, which is like the big trend that everybody is trying to understand.
Right.
First early days of it was like 2016. It was like this for Instagram. Now everybody is trying to figure out TikTok now. So I'm happy to have you on the show. Before we start, can you tell us a bit about your story? How did you end up, working with brands on TikTok, Facebook, and Google Ads?
Right. So originally I started doing Google Ads and then slowly added Facebook ads into that. I wasn't really sure at that point where I was going with my business. Just kind of wanted to make a little bit of money for myself and do it remotely. And then over time, I realized, I want to say about 7-8 months ago or so, because I've been active on LinkedIn, I realized nobody really talks about TikTok that much. And slowly you see more people talking about TikTok and TikTok organic, but I've never seen anybody talk about TikTok ads, right? So my business is an advertising marketing agency, so we don't really do any organic TikTok and all that stuff right now. So all it is paid advertising. But I didn't see anybody talk about that. And people slowly jump on the TikTok train. Everybody wants to talk about how to succeed on TikTok, even the ones that don't even know how to. And everybody just talks about TikTok. So I thought, I go one step further and talk about TikTok ads, which is probably going to be popular in like maybe 6 months or a year when people realize just how powerful it is. So that's kind of where I found my niche, where I really went deep into TikTok ads. Right now, it's most of my business. I do some Google ads and Facebook ads too, but most of the business is TikTok ads with e-commerce businesses.
We know that TikTok has matured as an advertising platform over the last 1 year, especially, and it's gained a seat alongside the likes of Facebook and Google. For a brand, why TikTok ads is important, and how do you define a good return on investment on a TikTok ads?
Right. So I'll start with why TikTok ads are important for brands or businesses now. The thing is, most brands think it's still just teenagers dancing and all those things. You slowly see businesses going away from that. They realize that there's more to it than that. But TikTok, as an official source, gave us numbers of that 50% of the audience are 30 years or older. So, money is definitely there. And I think that's just super important to realize every business on there can be successful. Now, for numbers, for example, what to expect, it's super important because it's just a lot cheaper than platforms like Facebook and Google and all those things. We're seeing clicks for 20 to 40 cents right now on average, more on the low end of 20-ish, high 20s or something like that. So in perspective, for any non-marketer, that's like a fifth or maybe sometimes even a tenth of what you would spend on Facebook to get a click. So to get somebody to visit your website. So it's just a lot cheaper. And even for conversions, people say you get a lot of clicks, but you don't get any actual sales. You can get sales for very cheap. We're seeing great return on investments right now. So for every dollar we spend, make around $3-4 back. And I like to say the minimum I usually guarantee is like I make at least $2.50 back for each dollar you spend. And that's, for me, sounds kind of like the worst case. So basically that's why people should care about it, because it's such a big opportunity and everybody's on there right now.
So coming to the currencies, we have the coins, diamonds, and can you tell us a bit about what's it all about the coins and diamonds, etc.?
Right. So for advertising itself, the coins and diamonds are actually not really important. So what it is, you can basically load your TikTok account with coins and diamonds, and you can then spend them on live streams from other creators. You can basically donate to them, or you can use them, or you can use the gifts you have received or the coins you loaded to boost a post. So you can basically boost it on your mobile phone, but it's not like actual advertising. You know, on Facebook you can do the same. You can just promote a post, and it's the same with TikTok, which I strongly advise against because it's not very good. There's no targeting and all that kind of stuff. But it's basically just like within the platform to donate to other top creators. The regular TikTok ads you pay with your normal bank account, with your normal debit, credit card, whatever it is.
In terms of minimum budget, what are the minimum budgets that you recommend to start up with?
Right. So TikTok itself sets a minimum budget. For them, you have to spend at least $20 on each ad group, so on each audience, to be able to run ads. Or if you do it on a campaign level, the budgeting, because obviously you can, you know, just like Facebook, you have campaign and ad set level ad groups in this case. They're called ad groups on TikTok. For that, it's a minimum of $50 a day. But what I would actually recommend, ideal case, if you really want to give it a try, I'd spend $60 to $100 a day in the beginning. And
$60 to $200.
60 to 100, sorry.
100,
60 to 100 a day. And with that, you create 3 to 5 audiences. So with $60, it will be 3 times 20, so 3 audiences. With 100, it will be 5. And then from there, you know, you just see what works, what doesn't. TikTok might not even spend your whole budget in the beginning, because it depends a lot on, there's cases where TikTok doesn't even spend your money because they think the ad isn't good enough or something with the targeting is off. So that's just something to keep in mind. If it doesn't spend for you, you might have to adjust your ads and your targeting and maybe even your spending.
And then the budget piece is done, and we start each ad by choosing the goal, right? What type of goals do we have in TikTok?
So it's pretty similar to Facebook. Anybody that has seen Facebook ads before, it's pretty intuitive, almost the same. I usually always choose conversions, which is the same as on Facebook, just because you want to have sale, you want to have conversions, you want to have that prospect call, whatever it is you have, a download of a PDF, whatnot. Sometimes it can make sense to go for, I believe it's called, I'm not sure about the exact name right now, but I think it's community engagement is the name of it. So that's basically where you optimize for followers. So that doesn't take them to a website. It optimizes for people going to your profile. And I wouldn't spend too much money on that, but you know, if it's like a bigger brand, they post on TikTok, it can make sense because obviously you get more followers. So more people are going to see your stuff long term. So you could spend, you know, maybe 10% of your budget on the follow objective too. But usually I stay away from the rest pretty much. You know, website visits and all that. It's pretty much just money waste. Like your numbers are going to look insane. You're going to get really cheap clicks, but you're not going to get any sales. So I basically always opt for the conversions.
So because we have conversion, consideration, and awareness, and even let's say, even if I have like 100 followers and I'm very new to TikTok, if I do choose a goal as a small brand, then you said that should I start with conversion still? Right.
So here's the thing that I think a lot of people get wrong. Here's why you don't need a TikTok account to even run TikTok ads, because when you run a normal TikTok ad, and they click on your profile, you know, when you see a TikTok ad, it shows a profile image and a brand name and stuff. Anytime somebody clicks on that, they go to your landing page. They don't actually go to a profile unless you optimize for like follows. So, you know, you don't have to have a TikTok account at all to run TikTok ads because they will never see your TikTok account. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind, that they won't actually be able to go to your profile unless you run the objective of getting more followers.
Wow. Yeah, then this makes sense.
Yeah.
And then once the goal is there, then we select the audience. I think there we have 2, right? Custom or lookalike.
Right. So technically there's 4 and 3. So we have custom, which is basically retargeting audiences. So that's like people who've watched, a percentage of your video, people who've interacted with your page in some way, those type of things. Then lookalike audiences, you know, kind of self-explain, just audiences who are similar to ones you've used previously. Those so far haven't worked too well for me and my clients on TikTok.
You mean lookalike?
The lookalike, yeah, they're surprisingly they have not worked as well right now, because there's a third category which is basically interest targeting. So within that interest targeting, you can target interests, behavior with a video. So let's say you can choose somebody who watches, likes, or comments on a video in the marketing niche, for example. That's not an actual targeting option, but just an example. You can target people who've interacted with creators in the marketing industry, for example, or you can target certain hashtags. So that's usually what I would recommend for cold audiences. So if you just want to find people, I usually choose some of those objectives based on my research. That's between like 10 and 15 different interests and hashtags, altogether 15, around 15. And then also after you spend around $500 to $1,000, TikTok suggests you all the interests you should choose. So it's kind of like a lookalike audience, but not entirely. So it suggests you what to do, and that's usually the audience that works best. So lookalike audiences, I usually mostly stay away from. I haven't found anything yet that makes it work. So I just think the suggested targeting once you spend $500 to $1,000 is best.
So then, first of all, you generally prefer the conversion. Again, it depends on the customer and the client. And
Correct.
Then from the audience, you generally pick the interest targeting, and then you wait for the app to understand the behaviors of the consumers and the likes. And then after $500, $1,000, then the app already, builds a custom audience for you, right?
Exactly. And like within this interest, I also have my own strategy. For example, I always use one ad group where I only target hashtags. So I leave everything blank but the hashtags. And, just try a couple of different things. I also always exclude people between 13 and 17. There's the targeting options where you can choose the age. And people between 13 and 17 just don't have the money to buy. They would have to have their parents, etc. So I always exclude them no matter what I do.
Yeah, why spend any dollars on that, on an audience that won't be able to buy at this moment, right? Yeah, perfect.
Exactly.
So then we will move to the ad piece, the creative piece, like designing the ads. Because I know there are a few paths. Then you can work either with a creator if you cannot do it, or you create your own creative within the brand itself, right? What do you suggest on that part? Because not every brand is good at creating ads for TikTok, right?
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the big struggles brands have, because they just don't know how to make good videos. So I want to start. There's two different types of ads. There's a regular ad, and then there's something called a spark ad. So what a spark ad is you're basically taking a video from a creator or maybe even your own account, and you then use that as an ad. And what it does is in the first 3 or 4 seconds, it won't show a button. It won't show a shop now button. It's only going to come up after 3 to 4 seconds. So it looks more natural. It looks more like like an organic TikTok, which is good to, get people to stop scrolling. So you have those where, it goes basically through the creator's profile. You're basically boosting their post, but there's a button that leads to your website in it. But people can actually visit the creator's profile if they click on the username. And does that make sense?
Is it called Spark Ads, you said,
yes,
right?
Spark Ads, yes.
But do you need to have a collaboration with the creator, or you can already, or for example, there's a creator that is already using your product and you would like to give a Spark Ad, you need to have a connection with the creator upfront, right? Before you give an ad.
Yes. So what you do is you basically reach out to the creator, however you do that. And they need to give you a code. There's a little code for each video. They send you the code, and then they can give you the user rights for 30, 60, 90 days. And that's how you get access to the specific video.
Okay, with the code that the creator will give you.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the way you can be sure that the video is great, because it's already created by a creator.
And you can find these videos through that creator's feed, and you can choose from whatever. For example, there's a creator, there's one video that performs really well organically for that creator, and you pick that one and you connect with the creator to be able to give a spark post to that video, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you can basically just scroll through TikTok and look for people in your company's niche, or you could, for example, search for a specific hashtag. So let's say, you know, I look for hashtag marketing in 2022 because I want to market my services, for example, and then I just look for creators who I think are a good fit. And then there's also something called the TikTok Marketplace. So that goes for Spark ads and normal ads. What TikTok Marketplace is, it's basically creators with 10,000 followers or more can sign up to for brand collaborations. Whether that's a Spark ad, you know, just a sponsored video like a shout out, or maybe it's just the video with not as a Spark ad, but just for the brand. And, you know, brands can search for creators in the niche by age group, by country, and all those type of things. And that would be the other way you could find creators for Spark ads or just regular ads.
Once I set up the ads and then my ads start to make some profits, how can I scale from there?
Right. So what I like to do is just anytime I have an ad, or in this case, an ad group, right, that performs well, what I just do is I copy and paste the same ad group, everything settings the same, in a new campaign, and just increase the budget to. So there's different ways. I usually just put it up to $100 a day. So, you know, if I wanted at $20 a day and I see it's making me, let's say, $3 or $4 per dollar I spend, which is already insane, then I would just up it to spend $100 a day in a new campaign. And the main reason I don't increase the budget within the current campaign that I already have is because I like to keep it organized, especially when, you know, with a lot of clients and bigger accounts. I just like to have a separate campaign that I can name like, hey, scaling or whatever, you know, where I can give it a separate name. So I know all of these ads run at $100 a day, compared to where I have, you know, one campaign and some ads run at $20 a day, others run at 40, 60, and everything's just confusing. So I like to keep it organized by just copy and pasting it and then increasing the budget.
Instead of adding up to the current ad, you just create another ad with a higher budgets.
Right. That's the way
that
everything the same settings, and then I just pause the old one that runs at $20 a day and put all the money into the new one where I run them at a higher budget. Correct.
I couldn't understand the exact benefit of that. I mean, let's say if I ran like a $20 ad, instead of putting up $50 on top of that, I, you know, delete that one and I start exactly the same ad at another place. Right. What would be the benefit?
So the benefit is, it doesn't really have that much to do with how the ad performs or anything. It's mostly for you to keep it organized, to have an overview of things. So you can basically make a separate campaign where you put all the ads, all the ad groups that run at $100 a day. So, you know, otherwise you're going to have, let's say you have a bigger account, especially, you have like 7, 8 different campaigns, whatever, or even more. And then within the campaigns, you know, you think every ad group is spending the same amount of money, everything spends $20 a day. But then one has been working, so you've upped it already to 80 or so. And now you might end up with a mix of ads that spend $20 a day, 50, 80, you know, and it's just all in the same campaign, so it's confusing. And what I like to do instead is just create a separate one, and that's where I put all the ones that work, all the winning ones where I spend $100 a day. So it's really just organization, which obviously is going to help you in the long term with making more money, staying more organized, and, you know, being able to scale. Yeah.
So in terms of I mean, now I'm going back a little bit towards I'm moving away from the ads questions, but I have another question. Is there a way that I can understand the followers or the views, if they are legit or not? I mean, is there, because I know that there are lots of bots still. I mean, in Instagram, we have too many fake accounts, too many bots. Is TikTok still is sane and clean as a platform? What do you see?
So right now, I'd even say TikTok is dirtier than Instagram, because Instagram,
okay.
I feel like they've done something against the bots. So I don't really know what they've done, but I feel like it got a little less on Instagram. But I think on TikTok, it's still a lot of bots. I don't think so much for ads, but I know on organic content, whenever I post on my own account, oftentimes there's bots, there's impersonations of big creators and all that stuff. So yeah, what you could do for the ad set is you can turn the comments off. But I haven't really had any issues with bots commenting on ads. Usually they comment on organic stuff, they target creators and just spam their feed. It's usually not really ads.
Because before our conversation, I have one client that we are just doing a trial on TikTok. And just yesterday, I decided to promote one of the posts through the app, actually. And I just like, very TikTok ads 101. And I used 200 coins, which is like very cheap, right? And I had I set the goal as increasing followers. And within like a couple of hours, it was like 100 more followers coming up. And I was checking the accounts, and yeah, some of them were bots already, but some of them were real accounts. And it's just like amazing, you spend only 200 coins, which is like probably a few dollars only, maybe less.
Yeah.
And then you're gaining 100 followers. I said, okay, I mean, because that doesn't happen in Instagram, right? I mean, you give an ad and you don't see any follower, but you see a decrease in the followers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, although there's some bots and all that stuff, especially when you try to pay ads to get followers and all that type of stuff, it's still well worth it because it's so cheap. And I imagine short or long term there will be something done against those bots. They just haven't caught up to it yet. For someone, I guess I don't know what they're going to do about it, but at some point I can imagine it's going to decrease in some way.
For brands, I mean, either, for example, if they use an agency or if they don't use an agency, it's the same question actually. Do you suggest them to use some third-party tools to schedule posts and or to, because in Instagram people use a lot of third-party tools to schedule posts, especially.
Right. So I think for TikTok organic, there's not really, I'm aware there's one that's on the rise. I don't know the name right now, but there's one scheduling tool. And technically you can also schedule it through the desktop TikTok version. But what I usually just do is I batch my content. So in one day I create like 30, 40 videos, whatever that might be. Then I just put them all in my drafts. So, then when the day comes, all I got to do is hit publish and that's it. So really for scheduling, I don't think there's anything good for that yet. For now, everybody I know, every creator I know on the organic side just works with drafts and then just selects the video each day and uploads it manually. And for ads, that's one thing. Every time you launch a new ad group, I want to schedule it you can actually schedule it for a certain time. That's usually when I schedule it for 8 in the morning the next day, US time for me, because my clients are based in the US. Simply because if you start running it at like, let's say now it's 3 p.m. If you start running it at 3 p.m. and send $20 budget daily, then it might spend $20 within the next 2 hours or so. But if you have it start the next day in the morning, then it spreads more evenly throughout the day. So like on the ad side, yes, I always schedule for the next 8 a.m. And for my own organic TikTok posts, I never use a schedule. I just draft and then just post them once you can.
As a last question, what's the things that the brands need to watch out, like some of the mistakes that they do without any personal intention, because we know that in Instagram, if you put the font very big, I mean, it used to be like that, it's changed, but then you get a ban from the app. I mean, are there any things that they need to pay particular attention to when they are giving the ads?
Yeah, so I'd say like 3 things come to my mind. One, especially when you start running ads, your account might get suspended straight away. Sometimes it happens just because, it seems suspicious, etc. But all you basically do is you can just type it in on Google, ad account got suspended, TikTok ad account got suspended. And all you do is shoot them a message, and it usually gets resolved within 24 or 48 hours. Then the second issue that comes to my mind is that the ads don't even spend budget. So, you have it set to, let's say, $20 a day, but it's spending $1 a day. And there's several reasons for that. So like I said, TikTok doesn't like bad ads. So maybe your ad, you just need to rework your ad, maybe edit it again or something.
In terms of creative, on the creative side, you mean here?
Yeah. Like the creative might not be considered good enough by TikTok, or it's also based on the user's reaction. So if it spends $5 and nobody engages with it, it might, TikTok might say, hey, this ad seems terrible for some reason. We don't want to show it to any more users, so it stops spending money. There's a couple more reasons for that. Also, like in terms of budgeting. Maybe the budget is too low, or the targeting is just off, all those type of things. There's a few of those reasons. And then the third thing that comes to my mind is really like the ad creative itself. I feel like that's a mistake or something, a lot of brands make still. They repurpose. What I hate seeing is when people repurpose their Facebook ads, because it does not work. And especially you can tell because then it's all zoomed in. It's not the right format oftentimes. And like the subtitles and stuff are usually hidden behind the headline. So, on TikTok, there's like a little bit of text at the bottom, and like the profile and like count and all that stuff on the side. There's like a small bar. So oftentimes you can tell somebody took a Facebook ad because all the stuff is hidden behind the headline, behind the bar on the side, those type of things. It's zoomed in, so like it doesn't even show the head of the person, like it just shows a chest or something. What I really recommend businesses to do is there's another TikTok resource called Tick-Tock Creative Center.
TikTok Creative Center.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
And they just show top ads in your niche. So you can just go Google TikTok Creative Center, you look up, let's say fashion, you look up top ads in the fashion industry, and it shows you some of the top performing ads. It even shows you how many likes and comments they have and shares. So you can kind of get an idea on how well it works. So if you don't have any idea how to create a TikTok ad, I'd first go to TikTok Creative Center and look at some ads in your industry. And then just worst case, you just copy the format and do it for your product.
Yeah. Rather than, just repurposing one of your posts from Facebook, right?
Yeah, I hate when it happens. And then I've seen ads before from companies like mine that want to manage TikTok ads for other businesses, but their TikTok ads were like that, where the subtitles were hidden behind the username and everything was messed up. And they talked about, hey, let me run your TikTok ads. And like, maybe not. Maybe learn how to run them for yourself first.
Yeah, and also there's also like some other ways, as you said, like the creative tools that you can explore and learn. And if you cannot do that, maybe it's better for some of the brands to start with collaborating with creators then. Till they get to know the platform, until they understand the dynamics and interests of the platform, then they can work with a creator, and that would be like a safe path, I think, rather than spreading yourself too thin, trying to be on the platform.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go for any business that doesn't have like an in-house whole creative team, or maybe not for people that are just solopreneurs that just start. They might not have the budget. But if you have the budget, I definitely just grab 2-3 creators, try a couple of different ones. And when you find a good one, just negotiate with them, be like, hey, can you do 10 videos, 20 videos for me? get like a discount on it because, it's like a bulk order, and then just stick with that.
Yeah, perfect. I know that there is an ebook coming out. Is it today or next week?
No, so I finished the ebook, just get done with revisions, and I was actually just working on a landing page before this call, before the podcast. I sent it to my designer, so it should be done sometime next week. I don't know the exact day yet, but somewhere between Wednesday and Saturday it should come out.
Next week.
Yeah.
So it's an ebook for TikTok, right? Is it only ads or?
Right. So it's only an ebook on TikTok ads only. So there's advice in there, what to pay attention to when creating your creative too. So that's probably going to help a little bit with the organic too. But it's really focused on like the ad side of things, what to pay attention to, like the strategies to scale, what the exact systems I use to scale, to like test audiences, test ads, everything we talked about and more basically.
So for those people that doesn't know you, where is the best place to follow you? Is it Instagram or LinkedIn?
Yeah, so it probably would be
TikTok.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn, yes, I'm active on LinkedIn and TikTok right now. That's my two main platforms. LinkedIn a little bit more right now, and to ask me questions, work with me or anything, either just on my TikTok in the comment section, or if you want to work with me or buy the ebook, just Sven Mucha on my LinkedIn profile. It will be featured there in the featured section and probably on a couple of posts too. So LinkedIn and TikTok the best way. For any one-on-one questions, LinkedIn is probably better.
Thanks so much for the conversation, and I'm really looking forward to the ebook that is coming out next week. It seems that I need to do a lot more than just buying coins, like like a 17-year-old, maybe a 13-year-old.
It would be nice if it worked like that.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.